Could you please start, Kushla, by just telling us your name?
먼저 걔라 고추로와 저기 아니 당부 걔라기 민송로랑스.
Tenzin Woeser.
Tenzin Woeser.
Tenzin Woeser.
Okay. His Holiness the Dalai Lama asked us to record the experiences of older Tibetans to share with the younger generation of Tibetans, with the Chinese people, and with people in the outside world to document the true history, beliefs, and culture of the Tibetan people.
아니 cambu를 무시해 먼저 걸럭 나야라스. 아니 뱀이 미랍 망보 당로라. 아니 갸미릭 안 잠불링기 캔도기 체두스. 아니 공로 제와 속에 루규든 좀 두릅치고레스. 아니 루규 된존에 아니 아주 벽이 게랍 다 안에 리슈 뭐마 가리 예매되니 캔도 용그레스.
Do you give permission for the Tibet Oral History Project to use your interview?
아니 다른 게 티와 틸레랑 바디 니 갸라기 아니 벽이 나균 게랍 레글디기 배주 땅초로 왔어. Yes, you can.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
During the interview, if you want to take a break at any time, just let us know.
아니 티와틸레 남베까블야 갸라 지카고야 단 파싱 페고야 두나 아니 소나티기요레.
And if there's any question you don't want to answer, just say I don't want to answer that.
아니 티와 카시라 랭 견디 메버딘데 요바이나 아니 랭 마교나 티기요레.
If this interview was shown in Tibet or China, would it make a problem for you?
아니 티와틸레 딩안스 타린 체바디 페다 캐나디바 데메나 캐나라 강에 케용구레스. No, there'll be no problem.
And is it okay to use your real name?
Yes.
Okay, so we're very, very happy and very much appreciate you coming to talk to us today. First of all, can you describe a little bit about your village growing up in Amdo, your village of Yangle?
아니 당부 갤라기 트랑스데 미메 양레 시기요라 양레기 콜라디 스테시키요로나스
양레 세아테 당부 나토테 산참마 테다 포크 사차 아즈미야가 본마 미 땅이요 사르바 딘디지그 나토 사차테 말라 짜자세리 짜자 짜니지나 따소니세고라 다소녀가 자니세 띠띠디 지금 자탄바용데 산산의 대화를 했어. 당부 본마 산산만 봤다. 어떤데 단다 양리세한테 리세한테 나도 내가 상나가 망보인 사람아. 상나 되네. 상나 매사 된디라 레세고. 띠띠 지금 레랑세야 지금 양리세 니요래.
The name of my village used to be called Kyaigya in the old days. It came about because from Tibet 100 horsemen came there and settled there. So in Kyaigya it means 100 horsemen. And then Yangle, Le is where there's a clearing in the forest. So the area was wooded, and our village was formed where there was a clearing, so it was called Yangle. But now, of course, nowadays there's no forest there.
But when you were growing up, there was a forest, yes?
아니 걔라 파게 슈베 까블야 신나 요르베 양레라.
향나 문도. 요마 어떤 향나 때때때때 요르데. 시요다 나도 동바다 터니 때와 시다 망고텐데 문도.
There was not a very thick forest, but a little further away from the village there were
some trees. And what was the livelihood of your parents?
And gyalagi pala amla khas lega kharinagi yore dikala.
To Sangka linyere. Sangka.
They were farmers.
And how many people in your family growing up?
Gyalagi nala nami khaze yona dikala. Gyala chinju yime kala.
Chonto hindi gala ta pala anda amala che. Tene penja pe mayor. Pomu sunyo.
So they were the parents and 5 sons and 3 daughters.
5 sons and 3 daughters. And where do you come in that? Higher, middle, younger?
아니 걔라 풍하다 고무숨 유디가네 걔라 가와래 걔발 주마 띵아.
보무 선대 체 게말. 근데 네 떠나 자와니요.
아니 걔라체.
어떤가지? 저 오늘 단다 아우니요.
So the 3 daughters were the eldest, and then we had 2 brothers who were monks and older to me, and then myself, and then 2 younger brothers.
2 younger brothers.
3 monks in the family.
So the 2 younger brothers never became monks?
No, they really did.
But for always? Like they never became monks in the future?
걔라 빙자 부추만이 디 에네 잡아체요 말아.
자와마리. 단다 요아리. 동마 성바디디.
Though they did not become monks, they are still there and working as farmers.
They're still in Tibet?
Yes, they are there.
So 3 monks in one family, is that quite a lot of monks for one family?
아니 남이야 부숨 잡았어요 샤도아. 아니 잡아빼 망보라 낭지라 부숨 잡아.
잡아 망보 잡아 에탈라지 토마티 단다 요아레. 아니 바로 때 단다면 자미 그 종가나 지니 칼라사면 시선된데.
Yes, there were 3 monks in the family. The first one is still alive, and the one in between us, he was imprisoned by the Chinese and then died of starvation.
So, but was that considered a lot of monks from one family? I mean, I've heard that usually maybe one family there was 1 son who became a monk, but of 5 of you, 3 of you became a monk. Was that a little bit unusual?
아니 뭐라 khoyalaya mizanchik nane ta puyuna puchik 잡았어요 그도와. 걔라기 남이네 남이 풍안에 부숨 잡았어요. It is mandra 잡으직 같이 그래서.
말해. 만라.
No, it was not uncommon.
Really? So, at what age did you become a monk?
걔라 공로 가지를 잡았어요.
로데.
At the age of 7.
And which monastery did you go to?
걔라 공바 가와페레 공로 뉴갑라야.
공바에.
말에 공바 나온 공바.
공바 단다 나도 다가 공바 Sangdok 공바.
It was called Sangdok 공바.
Sangdok.
And at the monastery, were you treated kindly by the other monks?
아니 걔라 공바 Sangdok 공바를 페로알라. 근데 타바 셴바든 주기 아니 야부치기를 해라.
다 다른 소소소소 그 나도 양 혼자 땡디 따와줘서 그저 나라대하러. 단다에 강바 요아래. 나제루 강바 강가 시기차래. 강바 강가 시 때는 양쪽 단다 양 강바 자네. 자요.
강바스나
나도 다샤도. 나제루 강가 시기차르다. 요만 사태 동바래. 모바일 쳐사요라. 대요만.
제리아 수요.
그때 나도 공부 책사요 알아. 어때 공부 책사 때 자미가 나제로지 알아. 맞지 나제로. 데디가 동바 강박강가 시기니 상가 세정다 상가 다네. 된디지요. 다 당선형 강박형 또 자죠.
Yes, I lived with monks who were my relatives in the monastery, and then in 1958 the entire dormitory section of the monastery was destroyed, and then the area was converted into vegetable and farmlands. But now they have started to rebuild.
Were you very well behaved boy, or were you a bit naughty?
네, gela chungju imbe kabla gombe na le pu subu pala chawo dinde imbe pu ya pu ji.
Pala chawo chita chesa meare, gige ga dongare.
La.
Gige ga dongare, gige warwa.
I was not very naughty because if not the teacher would beat you.
Really? What would he beat you with?
아니 기계 동나 가리게 동그랬어.
다 로가 가르 티나티가 동그랬더네.
Whatever they could lay their hands on.
So you kept them away from sharp objects. So what kind of things would...
Pizza ladigala, pizza like champagne in the Ramboyare, cocoa cigarette. They were Mazanda in a deeper in the guy in that cigarette.
If the teacher was teaching, we had this wooden board, so he would beat you with a board.
That covered the pages.
Pizza society, Panle.
Yes, there were two wooden boards that we used to cover the scriptures.
It doesn't sound very appropriate. So what kind of things would you get beaten for? I mean, what kind of infractions would deserve this response?
아니 다 가리 게라 내가 노트 가르치고 있는 기계기 동기여래.
동그리.
내가 노트 가르치나.
만들게 있는 동그리. 내가 있는 시다 동그리. 다산은 좀 말해. 내가 시다 동그리다.
내가 가리 마치나 동그래.
Not paying attention.
다 비자 전에 지게 거라 대 마토나 근데 다가서 리가 다가서 만들기나. 가리나 녀다 당그리.
So in the olden days, there were much beatings, than we have these days. So we would be beaten for if we were not able to, recite the prayers.
Not do it correctly.
Correctly, yes.
So do you think it's better these days?
Yes.
Yeah, definitely. What did you particularly enjoy about being a monk back then as a child? Was there any particular studies that you particularly enjoyed, lessons you enjoyed?
Gela chunjugala ka chabana gombana shuwa dikabla ne kharila gela nyembu yosa kharila gela ka wiyona
that kala sida puge chongchongra sida hapo bondo.
I was quite young in those days, so I don't know.
What kind of food did you eat at the monastery?
Gombana shuwa kabla shela khari chugere.
Kala pal yorwa ngazo pal tanda toshi gu pal so da zamba da tenyere zamba.
So we ate bread that was made out of flour and zamba.
No meat.
And it's chugere.
Shayore.
Yes, there was meat. We used to eat meat.
Okay, and how did so how many monks at this monastery, sorry?
Gela gombadinalaya tabakazuyere.
Tabajatiriyor.
About 100.
100. Okay, and so what was your first...
Tata jayomare. Ngapche lots mato yomar.
But nowadays there are only about 50.
Nemangatu yoti jateyor.
Yes, because when I was there, the figure was 100.
100, yes. And right now we'll just stay with this period, and then we can move on to what happens later. So what was your first experience with Chinese people?
Gyalageta gyami tangbo gyami nyamdo nyamnyong khade chungsues.
Tangbo gyami nyamdo ta gyami ngato te tongba chi yorwa. Tela mag jane koto chi yongwar. Mag ja. Yong sacha lembarwa.
So the Chinese first came and attacked the village, and it was occupied.
When was that?
Di gyala khate chungre.
Ti lu ta kate ne ngato lu chi chiksum tende je chiksum chuji ta tende lai chiri.
I don't know the year.
Ta jami tangbo janong ne ya le ne yongwa ra yong chi tende 나도 다가 접하게 준다고 망부 해용 거라. 용구 마셔가 지든지 막 자라. 막 잔네 나도 공부하는 잡았지 마스터 공부하는 잔네 지세바.
I don't know when the year when it happened, but I must have been about 13 or 14. That was the first time when the Chinese came into Tibet, and during the attack, one monk was killed.
One monk was killed from the village.
Yes.
How far away was Sangdok Monastery to Yangle village?
Sangdok Monastery, I Yangle ne Parlure.
타니오 시다 타람보 말해. 근데 양 농아마도 야도 텐데 사자요 거 말해. 작은나는 도트고 왔다 레로. 작은나 야 텐데도 야는 마빠고로 텐데요.
Distance was not very far, but the route was very difficult. You had to climb up and down and up and down among the rocky hills and slopes.
This part dinata 통거리 다니온다고요. 야 도나타 야 마도 같이 타가는 금바테 선데 타가나 마사도 사야래.
It looked close by.
It looked close by,
but then it was a dangerous path because if you slipped on the rocks, you would fall.
Oh, so it was very, very steep, sort of gorges or something.
Oh, 요래.
Very steep.
Did people used to die regularly?
Oh,
yes, many. It has happened many times.
Many times. So when you said that your village of Yangle was attacked and occupied, do you mean that the Chinese people moved into the houses? What do you mean by occupied exactly?
No, they did not stay in the village, but they set up their camps.
And what happened to the people in the village?
The people of the village fled into the forests, and later they returned.
Returned after the Chinese had left?
Jima Nangarazi Tela Magadiga young than the Pardor, Magerchi. Zemba the Tundo song. Such a lens, lens, than the Parandosa.
The Chinese, most of the soldiers left, but there was one unit which stayed back.
So what happened when the people returned to the village?
At that time, when the villagers returned, they were not harmed, but it was much later when there were many killings.
It was much later. So how long did they stay in the forest, the villagers?
A few days maybe, because they fled when the attack occurred and then they came back.
And your family was among them?
Ngatu number to Tanyo, Hana Tanyo, Ngatu Tatio, Kumbala, Mesto, Nizi Gare.
My village was very close to the forest, and they did. But I was at the monastery at that time,
yes.
and the monks did not flee.
Yes, no, I understand
though we
that.
were shelled.
You were shelled.
One monk died in the shelling.
Ah, the monk died in the monastery.
The shell fell on the house, and
on the monastery.
The monk was killed. In those days, we did not have houses like we have here. They were mud houses.
And did the shelling just come out of the blue, like completely unexpectedly, or did you see the Chinese preparing for this attack?
Well, we saw the Chinese coming, and we were trying to resist them, and then the Chinese surrounded us.
How were you trying to resist them?
We had guns, because in those days people owned guns, and each gun would take about 5 bullets each.
You had guns normally in the monastery, or you'd acquired guns specifically to fight the Chinese?
The monastery did not own guns. Those that resist the Chinese were not the monks, but the people of the village.
Oh, so when he said we were resisting them, he meant the people, his people. I see, not the monks. So the shelling. How long did the shelling go on for?
So the shelling began about 7 or 8 in the morning, and it did not go on for long, because we were very small in number, and it was very easy to occupy us.
And how much damage was done to the monastery?
And it gomba like gyön chelu chungse.
Gomba jo tata tawate se ti khampate che ma to zenda jonji ma so.
No, it was only that monk killed and one house destroyed.
One house destroyed. And what were you doing at the time? Were you hiding somewhere?
Ani di kabla gyala khawaye
Didi shala de yore yudare.
I was hiding at that time.
So
tata tawachi sevar ba. Didi kan ko ngatu tate lomba phaka chga de den che khoto magme ma yong budwa. Didi gala ne khoto magme gen la sonne gunju ge segwar ba. Khoto tendi che ma du nangla ya ju chine khoto namje chige do. Go chin ma chena ya na song tendency mato. Gumba nangwa chong chi mato. Menda jangye yo mare. Menda yo mato.
The monks did not own guns, and there was no one who was resisting the Chinese, but they did not enter the monastery. The Chinese did not enter the monastery.
So what happened?
Any country there? Any country there?
Tene nima kasila ta sacha kaka len sararo. Tene ko bisiku tene ngadu ta tongba ge sitaga chamjak satendi yore. Tazunang la tene bisiku tene. Ta mamete to kangalo pe taka kona birikenda tindi tsigichini. Tindi chezi.
So after our area was occupied, in the center of the village we have this place where normally cham was performed, the monk dance, and then the Chinese, they showed us a movie there, and the village was surrounded by them with guns. They showed us films for about 4 to 5 days. Big Beskov Nala.
Oh, ko Stalin zene. Arisi chindwade ko to janak gigena was.
So in the movie there was the person called Stalin, who was from the USSR.
If you could describe the other films you saw and what was in them.
Ani Beskov Nala sheba kharido.
Tindi mato tengamando. Tene magan zango yo tindi dauda. Tene Tibet magajani lemba do tindi te chadani do. Tibet magajani leni. Tene se lemba da. Tene jabe te tengo. Jabe nga magajani sigdo ko jana.
Oh, so the film was on battles being fought, and there was one where they showed them conquering Taiwan, and then there was one of a battle between Japan and China.
So they're like battle films.
Yes.
And had you ever seen a film before?
No, I've never seen. No, there was no films in our region.
So what did you think of these films when you saw them?
No, I did not think much.
Were you more interested in the process of how it worked technically than the content?
There was no electricity in my village, and they brought these batteries, and then we found them very strange.
Oh, so it was electricity that was the big thing.
Yeah.
Ah, and so how did life change in your monastery after that?
Takate ngajelu tagare tangatu ya Lhasa triyong sar nga lo ni se gan la ta ya te yong ara de
True Lhasa.
ah
Lhasa la true is.
o pa yu ne ya che to ja te yong
Gomba shi chani re, gomba ma shi gong.
ma shi ma tu yo te gumba yo
So then at the age of 20, I escaped to Lhasa.
Before that happened, from the period of like 13, 14 to 20, from those years, were you discouraged from practicing Buddhism? Did the Chinese discourage you from practicing Buddhism? Or discourage monks in general?
Tagala konglo joksum chupshis kala yami le roala. Ta yishitambala true Ta di para de longa true dun di para de yani kami gi chikche chi chogu mari la ya tawu de lungba na la se yuna.
chi choko mare chi choko mare ta la go ma ti ga gumba ta tu ta ga ja ta ko kare chen mi ta khoi ji de ni ma chong ma che da wa si te tin ti ga choko tong ba yong so so de ga la ten me nga tu po ba ta khasi ma to se yo mare ne ngola men de ja ne mi ni se me je tin di se go.
So at that time, no, they did not, and the monasteries were left standing. But they used to hold meetings every 15 days to 1 month, and during these meetings, a few Tibetans were killed.
During the meetings? You saw this, yeah?
Gela ani chono chibi gane di kabla ya pheba de khashi se yorwa. Gela do si swe.
nga tu choden do yo mare tidi gala tawa ta so seta choden do ko mando.
No, I did not go because at that time monks were not required to attend the meetings.
So the people who were killed, were they being killed as an example to show other people what might happen to them?
Ta pheba khashi ji se wala. Di gemi khadre sina tan mi shamba donzulu tenya pe tenya dawo. Did it always say you na?
Ta tidi nga tu na ka bu ji longba chi yor te tongba te na na pombo chi yor ka pombo chi
La
ka pombo ji chi yor ka bu ji longba chi tongba chi yor ko chu te na ma pe che khashi chi se cha ko no chong kha na chi ji ni chong kha na shwa.
So nearby our village was another village called Kagu village, and the leader of this village was imprisoned, and some of his family members were killed.
Did you know any of the people personally who were killed during these meetings?
Chondo dunsu kabla ya mi se yorwala. Mi se yo na ne gyala ngoshe badinde yo na.
Me ngoshe ba yo mare.
No, I did not know any of these people.
And before you escaped to Lhasa, how was the well-being of your family?
Gyala Lhasa lata ma chu nge la roa. Gyal chu ma yo ngi ngon la. Di kabla ni gyala nangi sama khan debu yore.
Debu yore.
Sama yore na.
Yore.
They were fine.
Yes, they were fine.
So, why did you escape to Lhasa?
Gyala Lhasa la kharishine chu phere.
Lhasa la ngatu phayu la ya Lhasa la jaga da tindi yo ya da ti Lhasa sita ti nikorendo ya da tasa na chwa shi ya tindi la sita ga uchi gir.
In my village, it was considered a great thing to go to Lhasa on pilgrimage and then also to the monasteries.
So it wasn't an escape. You were going to attend higher education.
Tadila sidigane gyala chu yongyo dobo mari gyala phegele ya ta negor che ni gomba la phe yongyo yorwal Lhasa la.
Lhasa la are ya karese mi zenda ya Lhasa la yongye yorwa. Tindi ga ayokunda uchine kimateni tisi rokachini nyamdo.
So
tindi gala mota langpa mandu.
So there were other travelers going to Lhasa, and I came as an assistant, with them. At that time, there were no vehicles.
Okay. And so, what happened when you got to Lhasa?
아니 걔는 Lhasa라 배비가네 가르치했어.
Lhasa 용네 때는 단다 고단 Drepung 단다 구마디여와. 근데 초과식이 돼야.
So after I reached Lhasa, I joined the Drepung Monastery there.
That must have been a very great honor. I mean, you were in a monastery with only 100 monks. How many other monks from your monastery attended Drepung at that time?
아니 걔라 총셋 나기 공부했다 공부 춘주적으로 잡아 야즈마 시험하러.
시험하래.
근데 간데나라 걔라 Drepung 나라 걔라 페로. 아니 Drepung 나라 주비가네 걔라 공부 나네 잡아 가수스 페요래. 냠도 유에.
또 공부 나는 잡아 망보만도. 제가즈 맞도만도.
Drepung 나라. There were just about 4 to 5 monks from my monastery who were in Drepung.
Kampajani daw mamboyong goro pekaliri. Gama mota lam kayo maro. Kampajani.
So we during the journey we had to walk all the way because there were no vehicles at that time.
So how long did it take?
아니 두수 가지고 거래라.
다와 nga tikiti go.
It took about 5 to 6 months.
And when you got to Lhasa, what was the atmosphere like in Lhasa? What was going on in Lhasa?
아니 걔는 Lhasa를 좋아하라. 비kabla Lhasa를 아니 칼리다 오시도.
Lhasa 다 몸이 작작해.
수만으로.
자미가 몸이. 자미가 몸이 때 몸이 몸보래. 당선 자tin데 몸보 요마래. 몸이 작작해.
In Lhasa, there were not many civilian Chinese, but there were many troops in Lhasa, Chinese troops.
Were they around the city or in the city?
아니 Lhasa게 총계 나로라 두베 양 치로 대기나 야미든죠.
마미든죠. 나로나요. 나로나 가서가라 거기와라.
They were right in the city in different places.
Where were they mostly concentrated?
그때가 당선의 잔인데 잔망부 요마래. 마음이 맞도 자시다 통해 요마.
마미든죠 Lhasa게 총계 나라 가와 대에나 대사 군저.
다고도 먹건다고 때 가까요 알아. 먹게도야 통바 갑든다고 같은 Drepung 군반다고 있는 Drepung 군바 갑든다야 먹게요 알아. 건나대요. 그것도 다가서 대금 말봐. 사자난가 지사는 맛도 대금.
They had set up camps in important areas in Lhasa. Like there was one very close to Drepung Monastery.
Okay. And what happened then?
아니 디제를 같이래. 아니 디제를 같이래.
Lhasa 때 지는다 Lhasa 막 자와로. Lhasa 다 막 니마치 있던 막 자네. 니마치 마통 거요.
Then they attacked Lhasa, and it took just 1 day.
Oh, we're jumping straight to 1959 now.
That's right.
Okay, because he arrived in 1957. I've got so you were 2 years at Drepung before everything hit the fan in 1959?
아니 걔는 한국 Drepung 나라 페르와 디디 지금 국경합 중 납된스토브레샤와 다탄다 아마 개베디 지금 국경합 중 나고르와 이 걔는 로니 Drepung 공발을 슈르에
아레레다 공발다 아레.
Yes, I was 2 years in the monastery of Drepung.
So, and during your time in Drepung before 1959, did you have complete freedom to do your religious studies? So there's no impact by the Chinese presence?
Lo니 Drepung 슈르와 디 티즈딜레야 지겐 수수게 차빌 오야 돈조 로초다게
로초거래
개까기 요마와
가끔도.
Yes, there was the freedom to study the scriptures.
Did you always have enough to eat?
Did tandaku sita zambore. Mabende do lamsa loka tangana ke haku marwa. lokatang chigiri losang tende losang lokatang tende koto tende chejang tende mongbo tayo chedende tezola Lhasa ge tani ta kenyi chacha sedong na mai kenyi kangalo tagari na orne koran to chejang na tende cheda ma ma jago tende yo mari.
In those days, no, there were nothing of that sort. In fact, when you met the Chinese soldiers on the way, they shook hands with us. And yes, the Chinese were planting vegetables, and they took away the dirt of Lhasa in horse carriages and used them as manure in their vegetable gardens.
Was there always enough to eat in the monastery? Was food not a problem?
And Gala Nam's Gombala, Drepung Monastery, Shella, Chia Tayoreta.
Kala susu samba matota yo marisita.
Susu class.
Susu kala mato jonta kala ya mangjada gishi tungbu da tezi yoti yo mato je yo mari.
So each of the monks had to fend for himself because the monastery gave food only when there were offerings being made to it. When there were geshe.
When he was once he graduated.
Yes, those only during those offerings. Otherwise, there was no food coming from the monastery.
No food coming from the monastery.
Yes.
So how did you get your food? How did you provide for your own food?
Ani gyala ani choyage tsamba dunzu khawane la yore.
Tsamba dunzu tanda tazone pojagwar. Chochene pojagwar. Tanda karisem boji ji ya chemboji. Tindi ge tende tindi tawata sola. Tazang tazu ge tegwar. Tambo yiginda o titi teker. Tejimati chanima lengdo.
Oh, there was the Tatsang did provide grains. They gave us a small note, and then we had to take this note, and then we received a bowl full of grains.
Okay, like a ration ticket kind of thing.
Yes.
Okay. So did you remember being hungry?
아니 아니 참sam나 저것도 거든데 하기로 해.
Tindi lao maso.
No, I do not.
You do not. So what did you personally witness in March 1959?
아니 gyala rangi로 알아. 아니 지금 구경감 중 아기가 진짜 숨발아 가르시스웨스.
라.
ngap중 아기가 진짜 숨베게 다와디나 gyala rangi 가르시스웨스 하살이야.
Taga gala lekaje ke yo mareda.
Mare ya ngap중 아기로 알아. 다 진짜 숨베게 나는 하살을 gyala rangi 가르시스웨스. 가리 통스웨 gyala게. 하살이야.
아니 달 하살라 배 마음이 짱짱 강지. 마음이 강지 됐는데 쟁게 요 말이죠. 다 제 가르치고 요면 가서 하이고 말이.
So in Lhasa, I saw the troops, and I do not know what else was happening.
So in March 1959, you just stayed inside your monastery, is that right?
ngapchu ngaguilo la gen. ngapchu ngaguilo la tha Lhasa la singju de chungro a. Gyala di ko la khare si yuna. Chinde sumbe na la singju ji lang ro. Di ko la gyala ge khare si swe.
Tidi gala ta nobelanka azina ta kare se jame ge kare kende jiksa ge yaka jiksara tanda te nobelanka ta tinala me mangpo choda tidi gala kende da tina tanda ta ji da ya nobelanka la tande tinyo ngachnga ge tinyo mote tande kare se ta Lhasa ge magme ge Nimanya ka sopa chacho niwa chacho tenta nimanya ka gola tinawalang ka tinala mesto jaga mesto chacha jal zendat ma yonga yo mare
So in Lhasa there is the Nubulinga Palace, which is the summer residence of His Holiness the Dalai Lama, and that was shelled by the Chinese.
Were you given a zezong by His Holiness the Dalai Lama? Any kind of protection?
And gyala la sunkor de rayo na. Kundegi nangyo re.
Oh, yo marila. Tidi kendala le lawan jatho yo mare. Wala yoti le lawan jatho ko mare. Tagasa jagan tagasa chinjana ma to tendi rayo yo mare.
No, it was not possible to get
Ta
anything like that.
Te mamba gedela anjiksera presene yo chile yo. Sera la yo ka dikar mintambaje yo tendi sonson chi lenji yo. Tendi len ta ma to je yo mare.
So it was not possible to get anything like that from His Holiness because it was not easy to see him.
No, I didn't mean personally. We've heard that he distributed thousands of zezongs to monks and to people in the Tibetan army. So I was just wondering if you received anything like that. I think it had been blessed by His Holiness.
And the camera room is na yore la theson so chaba dinde ya
Pola tende na yo mare.
Zinge dinde la na yore sunya chitu sa and ma zinge chore wa and dinde le ya ani kundung ge dinde ta chonson dinde la yore se ji ko so sa
tante dera dong ta nang go yore ma pola tende na yo mare. So te ngema jigse karese mahi je chida jigse ka kanda se duwa kanda se tu te song go
tin na yore
te na yore.
So His Holiness had distributed an amulet called Jishe Mahe, and then also I heard that some amulets were also distributed to the Tibetan soldiers in the Indian Army.
And the Jikshi Mahe, do you still have it?
I did not get
one.
Oh,
you didn't get one? Oh, that's not fair. Okay. So yes, can you just tell us a little bit more about your experience in Lhasa while Lhasa was being occupied? But just make it really personal to you, yes, because we can read the history of Tibet in books. It's been very well documented, but your experience is completely unique. So what you saw is what we really want to know.
And this soroji di kechi buchagi dosa. Tadi na ma gyabe kawla di gyana kawa shu yore, gyana kari si yore. Dinde jisungu.
Oh, ti ma tata jani nimote ngatu tata gumba na yore. Ade tanda te karese. Tata na menda ade sechi chari yone. Ato Drepung ko phaka khere ji yorti saja songo do waris lenga to diu ngap cha thamba tu te me ani ni ge menda che de diu ngap cha thamba te ke ji pge nima nya ga ngo pge re ga so de
seri
khere ji re ji te ga la
diablo la Drepung
ma ren Drepung ko ta yo mo jo sa.
So when Lhasa was attacked, on that day I was in the monastery, and then we were told that 7 of us had to go to the hill which is on the eastern side of Drepung to stand guard, and then we were provided with a gun for two monks and 50 bullets.
One gun for each 2 monks?
Yes,
and 50
bullets.
And had you ever used a gun?
Dingo la gyala ani menda pejutang nyuyuna.
Me tanta tayo hayula menda ngema tangor. Tanta nga diu nga do te matoyo mare.
Yes, I had used a gun when I was in the village. That was the gun which had 5 bullets each.
And were you given any kind of training?
Ani ta thanda delaya thabani le menda chikte wala.
Ani
titu chik menda gyabya de.
Menda jasa mendo.
Lobjum te le menda gyabya la.
Menda te jaya da lozo te gu mare. Deo nga do te ta lozo te kete gu mare.
Mare anda komba ne menda minni le menda chikte wa. On di gyabya la.
Te lozo te gu mare. Te kanga ha gu mare. La
ani kaupe ne menda te ani shari la pe
te nyama chiga tene te sanyi te ya choma gumba la loyo te menda te ja tene ta te wara
menda gumba la shani
menda gumba sana mata che choko mara te digala gumba chala la ko.
There was no need to train how to use a gun because I already knew how to. And then I was one day up on the hillock, and then the next day we went down to the monastery, left the gun there at the monastery because it belonged to the monastery, and then I left.
So there was one gun for 7 monks, or he just left his gun there?
Ani kela nabasolia menda tena roa menda raya roa gombane thabani le menda chikyo roa
menda de mato yo mata mambo yo ma
mare menda de yo roa ani menda de yu de gane mi de yu de menda khasi yo ra
menda de se mato yo ma te menda re la me ni
ani kela ge menda de gombal yu shai ba
nga tu kanga de gomba na ja ja.
There were 7 of us, and all of us left the guns at the monastery.
And why did he say he left the guns at the monastery?
Because the guns belonged to the monastery. It was the property of the monastery, and
yes.
He couldn't take the property of the monastery away.
Oh no, I guess that's not my question. Why did they go back to the monastery? I mean, why did they leave their post? You know.
Gyana number sorwa shari gana shuyorwa shari kharichin shani ma gombala pay
Ti sacha songu gore sacha songa ge te dosa te ta songu ya chanda mando yima yonje je ka ke yo.
We were sent to the hillock on the eastern part to stand guard.
Exactly.
But then we found that there was nothing to stand guard over there for, you know. Nobody was coming.
Nobody was coming.
Yeah, so we left the post and went back to the monastery.
And then gave your guns back to the monastery, and then what happened?
Ani gala number zuta shari ne ma phe gomba le phe rwa ani menda pha phu rwa
gomba menda pha te
ani khane nambe
tene ta ya jo ta te yo ma ta jaga la te yo.
Yes, then we fled towards India.
Okay. Is there anything else you want to tell us about anything that happened in Tibet before you crossed the border into India?
Ani gyala tata tanga so phegi lu yu de kharisungel ha yo na ga jagal male ngela tanda phe na yo
what you experienced.
And gyala ge nyamnyo shemba phe na lu shu be ka le ya
ni nyamnyo ta sita se je ke yo ba ri la ta go ba na na ta ga so je chi de ta ga se de ko ba sai je ke jong tin de la ta tin de sam tin de chi de ma to se
So while in Tibet, I was in the monastery and I was concentrating on my studies, and there was nothing much that we had information about.
Okay. What happened at Duazong?
Ani Duazong la kariche gyala jela.
Duazong la te jari chero. Duazong ya nang la tene tawata tu de chini jami se yonggo ra nga tu jalo ga chil he yong 내 영혼에 때는 도와준 나나 tawa basa tanda mami yo chichikang tiga si yorwa chichikang tiga mami tindi yor tindi dawo da tawa dawo da tindi lakcha yo ni mangpuri tanda ga da menda ti mato jenda ta lakcha yo marwa da
ni
te jami yong ni jane ko to merto ko jae ore tindi yong ni ja gumba me ja te chi 내가 또 감정 타와에 먹고 세사.
도정라. 참아 도정라 수리래.
그것도 고바지 요래. 지 보통은 저지 저거가 고바든지 뛰나는 저도 알아. 이 자매용 다 갖고 와서 마마 몰아. 라키야. 디디가라고 남제 딘디 시간 두고 와래. 마자야가 당선 남트 때다 말이 다가서 도보케야가 남트 진도와 딘디싱이 마치 지라 사사다가 고려 자서 고려 자.
So yes, they were at Tuazong. There was a monastery which was on a hill, almost similar to where how Potala is in the Potala Palace. And in that, there were Chushigangdu soldiers as well as monks. And then the Chinese arrived and they burnt the monastery. And many of our monks I knew from who were from Garden Mai Tazang were killed there.
Where is this? Is he talking about Amdo?
No, Tuozong is right across Buxa.
Oh, it's in Uttar. Yeah. Oh, they burnt the monastery. They burnt to death. The monks burnt to death?
Any Tuozong's Gombadilla may gather. Any Tabata, Chushikan Mami, any made sin shire.
Oh, be Kashi Tsuji. Tangatu te Yomari. Matu Yomari. Tell Nala, Natu looked at the only Mendata Tiki, Chichiganti Nandu Yomari.
Menda Yomarwa.
Yomari.
I was not there when the monastery was burnt because since I didn't have weapons, I did not join the Chushigangduk.
Okay. But his understanding was that the people inside burnt to death, or how did they die?
A few of them.
A few of them burnt to death. Okay. So when you got to India, you were sent to Buxa, a refugee camp in West Bengal. And can you tell us about the conditions there, what that was like?
Kelan Yana to Pedugane and Buxa singing such a delatana, Walla. And he got this one.
Oh. Tanda Luka Tree Marwa. Tree Chidita do the Popa Santa Mila Casson today. Congress you are. You might check out a good do was a Congress. Congress teacher in Duke Santa Malay. Dubai or Dupaga Mommy Sasson or the Nima Nishi Tezilla Tam Dupa Mommy Matanga Marit, and then the Karase the somebody to say to Lombatiman or then the Gajare. And did you go at the Kundus Jagala Petsarava? They have radio Petsarava, they have. That did you go me Petse don't talk to you, Sari. The Lombanala Ma to Bagumatanga, Bagamatanga, Shayara. You might sit in the diary. The next one, Nima, Nisu, the Kundus Jagala Petarava, Petanity, Sansanga, Metadus Taro City. This is Rido not in the Laukandu set. Did you go out? Drepung salon patong bahasa Inggris itu di salon ko tanda te saltamata ya peso. Tede 저런 또 자와다 아니다 또 자가라 팔 자가라 팔아 로마도 요 말이지 자가라 팔 손나 독화자네 텐데 또 제라가 말이지 양쪽 팔로 줘서 아 텐디 랍송고 리바가 살론 파통 바생이죠. 때 아주 상마가 따로지 이제 깨자.
So after we left Poka, we came to the Bhutanese border, and then there was a very high snow-covered mountain called the Melaka, which we had to cross to, and then cross to reach the Bhutanese border. And when we reached the border border police would not allow us to move forward for about 20 days. And then a minister of Bhutan came to the border, and he told us that we should return to Tibet, because if we went to India, we would not be able to fend for ourselves. But then we all shouted, let us through, let us through. And just before that, over the radio, the news came that His Holiness the Dalai Lama had reached India. And then at the border, there were about 1,000 to 2,000 Tibetans who had collected.
Really? And they were not letting them across?
Yes.
And then what happened?
Anything azu tangda love any karichere.
Then Pataro Jay teaching any singing and me Samjate, Zibjate, Dindi, Lochayo or Zetal, Tawata Kashikachema, Toje, Minda Yorva, Minda that to Samapa Mamila City, Sansang, Dupaga Mamiora, Kotola City. Then the time Dupaga Mamia, some say, Jet Dindiga, Chedayor, Kasakalan Rosayo Mari. So the
next day, all guns were surrendered to the Bhutanese soldiers, and we were made into groups of 300 to 400, and escorted by these soldiers, we started our journey again.
Across Bhutan, towards India. And then?
Then my patient Drepung Santa Yama Kashis Yungwood. Drepung Santa Ma Drepung Tanda Sansam River. Santa Man Drezong la Tanda Karasa, Titinga, Matu Yosute, Buntang says at it. Buntang says at the Hegel. Then Yama Zangachi there. Yama Samja Zibjati Tangora. Imatoka Tangor, the Jaga Sansama Hetigana, Jaga that Jaga Koto Alangari Dao that in the Mongoles. Jaga Sansama Hetigana.
Langogari.
Oh, they chala to Langogari now, then the Gacha Chiga, Java Tindi, Java Mongoles. And they chala to Kanga Chakana. The Hati says at the Hati says at the Tilumbatin, your Zongkong do Chembuchido, Dinangla, Zani, Ponda, Burger Sujazora, the Zola Manda the ditches of Jaga.
I mean, the Jaga such a little in Bhutan, right?
Oh, Jaga Marin Bhutan to Bar.
Oh,
Jasa and such a Chembuchi. Tanda Jaga such a Hati says.
Okay, So we traveled on for a few days and reached the Indian border. And there were bullock carts that helped carry our things. And then there was a prison camp in a place called Hati, where we were made to stay and treated for the insect bites that we had on our bodies. And it Hati ne?
Hati says that they Relentua, Relen on the Relenanga Titanga to Semchena Zero, Relena Yachi, go Gunja Ja, Chalwa met and Gikon on the boundary taken to Jipag Pelisadua, Kutupo Kishigora. Ali boundary Tagasa. And change that process is a dead.
So in Anhati, there was a train, and at that time we were just like cattle, you know. They put us into the compartments and then locked us in and passed us bread through the windows. They were Bhutanese soldiers who could speak Tibetan. And then the next morning we were in Buxa.
So what happened in Buxa?
Any Buxa
The Buxa says the Buxa Rangla Leo, Tanda Mota related Sachiora, related Satanayachinita, Kambajani, Gachina do wood. You must check out do what.
Well, after we stopped at the railway station, we had to walk about half a day to get to Buxa.
Oh, really?
Any kind of Buxa?
The Buxa says that the Jagada Dupani is handsome. Jaga is such a Jaga such a. That's handsome.
So Buxa is an Indian territory, but it's very close to Bhutan.
The Buxa says that the Zonka do. That be don't cut you on in a don't some Zita usually. The data Popam Beta Kasakan said Tangayongora. Then that sit a nari, pe, make a natana shitty. Sit at the shiz on me. Then the low mambo there. Buxa says that. Petchen low. Not to the Zimari. Low petche. Jeguts is the day or that. Jeguts is the day. Part of doing not to Tamburis. You might own doing not to Tawatu Zimara. Zimara.
So Buxa was a prison camp, and about 3,000 to 4,000 Tibetans had gathered there, and it was very hot, and people became sick, and many died there. And I stayed there for about 8 to 9 years. Any look good Buxa Shura?
Oh, look, Jeguts and Goyar.
Any?
Then there's a chalan to go, is it? That's a chalayawala. Really?
Then we were told that we had to move to the settlements, and that's how I came here.
And in 1983, you went back to Tibet. Why did you go back to Tibet?
아니 지금 국교 여주 정숨로라 아니 걔가 파양교 별라 페로아
Really?
걔가 별이 양교 가르치는 페인데스
Punjata to think. Punjata think about it.
I went back to see my relatives.
And what happened when you went back?
아니 파 주되니 걔가 가르치면서 양교 파 페비만에
Pa do that is a Goyang body, Titiganta. Goyang Modu. Tanda passed to 아주 파유 롱바요라. 다간데 전에 바스 전에 지 여러 때지 잠이 따다 정찬한데 내사. 전에 따금도 잘. 뒤만 봐요. 컴바나 대처하고 대지 요래. 컴바나 대지가 뒤된 거. 정착한다 지내사가 지어라. 뒤 전에 따금도.
아니 At that time, there was I didn't see much restriction because when I went there, the officers in charge hardly ever looked at the visas that I had got from the embassy.
Was it easy to get a visa?
And the shungdalanda de kasa dirine Lhasa rase kela visa raya.
Lhasa ta recommended. The pre Gaga love teaching the Dawa Kashi Gogo.
No, I didn't get it immediately because it took several months to get one after I applied.
Dawa Kashi none did Rakadu, Tataran Raku.
And it transit down to Kandid again.
Tonso that they can go to Jawu. Tandanga to Chonga Song say, no. Report to say, the judge sends a say, no. Matuti, he only said the Tombaro, teenagers. Daisy, this two dogs. Then the ponso see John the table. Ah,
can I young girl get you young soon, Lama, Susu, Lumbala Pera? You are carried.
And there was that did you call it? Caress I was no door. Gumbata took Kanga Yacho Jani, Yacho Zoni. Never sees a sure. Kanga Kamba Yacho Zoni.
Sudu.
A zoo chaser. Zoni Nama Kamba Yorava. So not to shout there's a shout Takakina Zosha. Kanga Zosha. Susu Nama Kamba Yosayora. This such a Susu Zoni. Nama Shija to the time.
I saw that the dormitories that were destroyed earlier was all built back.
In the monastery.
The monastery.
What other changes did you see?
And it you was Shemba Karikari seesaw, Galayan, you ma pedugane.
The Zembazi Karis Mikanga. Kamaga Tindi Musibado Mewachi, Lomba Genda lessons on the
There were no people that I knew from earlier times, and for me it was almost like I had reached another country.
Really? It was so different.
Because Gyurtsarwa.
Really?
That's right.
The Jaja low Ngapchila do Sara. They make a gambata to a gango chane, Mushingamatu. Zombata to Yachapuchata, Mushigamarva.
Older people had grown older and they were hardly recognizable, and then the younger ones had grown and I didn't know them.
And what was the reunion with your family like?
Ani gyalagi ajana jujo dunsu chere.
Kotu tanda acha gembati desha. Ya acha zenda niyo tenja tongtsa. Te ola yo tawachi yo te desha tanda yo re. Te ola tawachi yo te jabe ge tongkhang nan do tanda takan tongkhang nan ne shesong mendu.
I met one of my older sisters who was alive while the other two had died, and then one brother was alive there and the other had died in prison.
And did they have a lot to share with you about their experience of what had happened?
And ajada galage juju chik bage turu ala.
Are juju tanda Gemba Tawachior, Tida, Ona Nio, the Yadesha. Chona Niora. The Tuta Gengu Chandi, what she had to.
And then Kunzugita, Kranzugi, Mizi Lugudo, the Gala Mangushea Due.
Tindisitaman to Tatawati Tanda, Nitana Tawachiora. Cool. Jame ta zumke kasakala ya ti rego murumuro kasakala ti ti jima zum sose jima zumne ta tenga to shenga go na zongkang yora shentong ne zongkang na jini tina zongkang na jini deko samata to kale khaku choma sose ko te khala junya na rokha jini leka chero chi is ko to share me to ngi tag na jo ti tong cha zong kha na
Tanda khala sungi la ropa chi la nge ti chu chu khatire mas ma ge yu
ngi tag na chi yora zong kha na she song a chi yora ti tag ma de
one of my brothers who was also a monk had fled several times, but he was captured and imprisoned, and he worked as an assistant to the cook, and that was how he survived.
Assistant to the cook of who?
The prison.
Oh, and that's how he survived.
While another brother had died of starvation.
Yes, yes. So that brother had tried to escape many times, meaning escape in Tibet, right? Had been captured. So, had any other of your family members wanted to leave, tried to leave?
Ani kya ge tha nami piya shamba yorwala. Piya shamba su jagal su choya ge thapshi tang yoro.
Oh, kotu yo mare. Sande yo mare.
No, they had not.
No, none of them did.
And what did they ask you? What did they want to know from you?
Ani anda piya so ge kya ma phedu ga ne rwala. Gela la ni keje de tigido ata mitsi khande yo.
Tindi jiga mando ta kotu pugi zeda wo chada ra. Tana jime ta pugi da tindi mangbo ya ra. Tindi yongu mando.
No, they did not, because they were already settled there and had their wives and children.
They were not interested in life in exile or what was going on with His Holiness or anything like this?
And kunzu de kyagal so yungya ge tinde ta deba de kha.
Oh, matu kotu ta longba khicho ra. Ya ma do ma yo ra te do ne do ko do.
They lived in a very remote village and they were used to that.
Okay. And Krishna, when you think about Tibet these days, what do you think about?
And Teresa Galata pa phe kor samu tambo yina ro ani khari thengi do sa.
Terasa ta jami da chaya ba to je mando wa po long ba. Ja khang da wa. A zu long ba de thani yo ro. A zu po pa ge chong ba yo ro. Tu tu na na tambo jami ge mazang nga te tu te tindi jang do ta zo ka chi ga de me do ro sha ta te yo ma ta pe lam ka ri ri yo ra ta so ta lam chen bu zo sha de ta so pe khang da ra oh ja.
So nowadays Tibet is almost fully populated with Chinese. And however, in my village, earlier several families were made to stay in the village, but I saw that they had all gone back. But then throughout the journey, I could see that there were Chinese everywhere in Tibet.
Jeke masina khala ra ka mare. Ya man do na Lhasa do to ya man do na long khala. Khala do cha nga na jeke korang nga ko do.
If you were in Lhasa and if you did not know the Chinese language, you would not get food.
During his time there, he's talking about?
No, when he went back.
Oh, when he went back. You would not get food.
Because you needed to know the language to buy food.
To buy food.
다 라사이네 가가로 자자자마도 법아 죽은 거 다갈라 때마도 통해요 말이죠. 죽은 거 다갈라다 고란다도야 때다 법아 때지 통보를 마도세 저는 요 말.
In Lhasa, there were so many Chinese, it was, you hardly ever saw any Tibetans.
In Lhasa in 1983.
Yes.
Is there anything else you want to ask, Yanjana? Or are you satisfied? Okay. All right. Well, thank you very much for talking to us. It was really interesting. And just tell us what was it like to talk about these experiences and sharing your memories?
And gala kari nganzulaya anin review song dere chine kandida was chungsuesa.
거야 저부터.
Okay, I need to ask you one more time. If this interview was shown in Tibet or China, would it make a problem for you?
나한테 양교 티켓이 되고 요래 gala. 아니 Tibet di pöda gana de bani gala 강에 연구를 했어.
그거 연구 말해.
No, there'll be no problem.
And can we use your real name for the project?
아니 gala기 밍 엄마 배주단을 되게 여러 와서. Yes.
Thank you very much for sharing your story.
아니 gala review song은 안 푸시셔야
돼.
We have a small gift from the project.
진주시 피야 yes.
맞지.
그렇지.